One of the short films releasing at the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival in July is a film called Gabriel Lynch-Where Am I Going Next? And it's my great pleasure to be speaking to the director of the film, Brayden Pope. Brayden, welcome to Movie Metropolis.
Thank you so much for having me, Peter. How you doing?
Okay. Now, this is quite an intriguing documentary about a musician. How did it all come about?
Yeah, well, I met Gabriel back in 2010. So he was performing this free concert that my dad actually uh, brought me to because it was just a collection of different buskers throughout Melbourne that were putting on this free concert in a little church. So we went and saw him, and I think it was a year or two maybe after that that started this kind of friendship with him and promoted his music through all my social media platforms because I was making YouTube content and doing all that stuff. So it kind of just grew from there. And then when it came time, and when I was looking at doing the next project, I kind of thought it's an interesting story of trying to find your way in an industry that has been less than receptive to new people kind of breaking through. And I just thought that was a very interesting story to kind of share.
Okay, how much did you work with Gabriel in terms of fashioning the story and getting it right?
Yeah, I mean, we had many discussions about it when I approached him to do it. And I think his biggest concern, which was something that I was kind of worried about as well, that you could very easily, the bad version of this film is really, you could take it into this woe is me kind of getting shunned out of the music industry kind of take on it. And it's not really the approach that either of us wanted for it. We wanted to kind of make this uplifting story of even if it doesn't go the way that you're kind of perceiving it in your own mind, there are different avenues that you can kind of take to get to where you're wanting to go. So I think that was the big important thing for us.
Okay. Tell me about the shoot. How did you shoot it? Did you shoot it yourself, and so on?
No, sadly, I didn't get a chance to. It was filmed back in 2021, so we were in the middle of a very harsh COVID lockdown. So, very similar to how you and I are, we sat down over a Zoom call and did the interview. And then I just picked different B rolls to kind of precede that and go over it. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to sit in the room with him and do it, but we did get a chance to do this.
Okay. And you narrate it yourself.
I do, yeah. So my narration kind of weaves throughout, just more or less telling the story of our friendship and how it's kind of progressed over the years, but also giving a little bit more detail into the background of what Gabriel's journey has been over the years.
Okay. I'm always intrigued. Were there any no-go areas that Gabriel asked not to be filmed or not to be part of the doco?
No, look, anyone that's kind of listened to Gabriel's music knows that he's very much an open book, and I think that's a reason I resonated as much as I did with all of his music is that he talks about in his songs his addictions to substances, his addictions to alcohol. He released a song called Drink Your Love Away, which really chronicled and detailed how he let a romantic relationship slip through his fingers because he was grappling with this alcohol addiction. So he's very much an open book. And when we did sit down to kind of discuss it, he just said, nothing's off limits. Just tell the story as openly and honestly as we can.
Okay. Now, it's a very tight 10-minute documentary. Tell me about the editing process, which is never an easy thing at all.
Yeah, so like I'm an editor by trade, so that's my kind of bread and butter. It's what I've been doing for the last 13 years. But the hard part was kind of condensing a 2.5 hour conversation that we had. And how do I get that down to around that 10, 15 minute mark is what I was aiming for. Because I wanted it to cohesively tell the story without overstaying its welcome. So it took about 3 or 4 months to really get an edit that I felt told the story efficiently enough.
Okay. And once you finished making the film and the edit, how did Gabriel respond?
Yeah, well, naturally, he was the first person that I reached out to show the film to, and his feedback was just, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you condensed it into 10 minutes, but it very cohesively tells the story. So, with that feedback, I then took it to a couple of friends who run this little independent production company with myself. And once I kind of saw their reaction to it as well, I knew it was kind of getting to a point where I could consider it a locked cut.
Okay, well done. And it's great that you were selected by the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival.
Yeah, that's been a massive honor. So we're doing, I think it's July 28th from memory is the last screening of it. So it's going to be the last screening that we do. Um, as we're speaking now, it's playing over in Paris at a different film festival, and yeah, it's nice that it's kind of coming back to Melbourne and finishing its run back here where the story's really set.
Okay. Now, it's great to have a film out there and to be released. So that's terrific that it's playing overseas.
Yeah, well, it's done a couple of different festival runs. So Beyond Borders, which is a big international festival over in India, were the first ones that picked it up, and then it did Hollywood North Shorts over in the US, and now it's over in Paris, and it's just kind of had this little run, and it's kind of resonated with audiences, which has been really nice to see.
Okay. Really good to hear that. So tell me your background. Is this your first film as such? Because you say you're an editor.
Yeah, so my background's primarily in social media content and editing. So I've been doing my own social media stuff on YouTube and Twitch and streaming like video games and doing a bit of music since 2011. So it kind of reached a point after doing that for about 10 years where I kind of hit this wall and was like, well, what's the next level? What do I want to do next? And I've been editing for a bunch of different channels for various sizes, ranging from little family vlog channels that are over in Queensland to this big international guy who's I think he's approaching 2 or 3 million on TikTok and YouTube alone. So I was got this very nice flow of editing different content, which really helped. And then in 2021, I went off and studied at the JMC Academy here in Melbourne and got my degree in film and television broadcasting. And the tools that they gave us really just helped me branch out into different avenues. So getting some exposure to writing, getting some exposure to directing, and it's really there that I kind of sharpened a lot of the skills that I already had.
Well done on that. Yes, I'm very familiar with JMC Academy. They're a very good institution. So, so well done on
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. No,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Brayden, have you got plans for other films at the moment?
Yeah, so I've just finished off maybe a month ago a new short film with a bunch of people that run the little production company with me. So we're hoping to release that. It's now just going through sound design and getting scored with music. But it's a little short film narrative structure that just follows a couple of characters who think that if they can pull off a heist, kind of like a GTA style one in the game, they should be able to translate those skills over to real life, and they venture out to rob a little milk bar, and it does not go well.
Okay, I'm interested to hear all that. And tell me, what's Gabriel doing now?
Yeah, he's actually shifted his focus again. He moved back over here in 2022. He's just finished up studying a psychological degree. and is looking to kind of venture into different avenues. He's still doing his music on the side. And lucky enough, I was at his wedding about a month ago, so he got married as well. So his life's taken this whole big journey, and kind of come full circle where he's back in Melbourne, just trying to find a new avenue that he loves while still doing his music on the side.
Okay, how interesting to hear that, and good luck with your projects, Brayden. Hope that film comes off. That sounds very interesting indeed. We've been speaking to Brayden Pope, the director of Gabriel Lynch, Where I Am Going Next, as part of the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival. Brayden, thanks so much for talking with me.
Thanks for having me, Peter. Pleasure.
Okay, all the best. Bye bye.
All the best. Bye.